Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Dark Ground video. In this video, what would you do if you saw something you could not explain? What would you do when it would later transpire that it would be connected to a disaster that happened later down the line? Stay tuned to find out more. Hello everyone, and welcome back to your next installment of the Dark Ground. In this video, we will be talking about the phenomena, the strange sightings that happened in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. Sightings of a being known as the Mothman. And then, what would the great tragedy that unfolded later on, after almost 13 months to the day of the first sighting. So without further ado, on November the 12th, 1966, 5 men who were digging a graveyard at a cemetery near Clendenin, West Virginia, claimed to have seen a man-like figure fly low from the trees over their heads. This is often identified as the first known sighting of what became known as the Mothman. Shortly thereafter, on November the 15th, 1966, so just 3 days later, 2 young couples from Point Pleasant, Roger and Linda Scarberry and Steve and Mary Mallette, told police they saw a large grey creature whose eyes glowed red when the car's headlights picked it up. They described it as a large flying man with 10-foot wings, following their car while they were driving. In and around an outside area of town known as the TNT area, which is actually the site of a former World War II munitions plant. During the next few days, other people reported similar sightings. 2 volunteer firemen who saw it said it was a large bird with red eyes. Mason County Sheriff at the time, George Johnson, commented that he believed the sightings were due to an unusually large heron he termed as a shitepoke. Contractor Newell Partridge told Johnson that when he aimed a flashlight at a creature in a nearby field, its eyes glowed like bicycle reflectors, and blamed buzzing noises from his television and set and disappearance of his German Shepherd dog on the creature. Wildlife biologist Dr. Robert L. Smith at West Virginia University told reporters that descriptions and sightings all fit the sandhill crane, a large American crane almost as high as a man with a 7-foot wingspan, featuring circles of reddish colouring around the eyes, and that the bird may have wandered out of its migration route. This particular crane was unrecognised at first because it was not native to this region. And to add on to this, there are a lot of sightings of this being known as the Mothman. Its name was born from a character from the Batman television show, so it was dubbed as the Mothman. Sightings continued to happen, and it wasn't just sightings of the Mothman. Eyewitnesses began to exhibit strange burned and swollen red eyes. At the time, John Keel, an author and writer, was in Point Pleasant when these sightings happened, and his book, The Mothman Prophecies, is a definitive account of what went on in Point Pleasant and the sightings at the time. He experienced a lot of the phenomena himself. With the UFO sightings that were happening at the time, he witnessed the lights. He had strange phone calls that warned him not to go back to West Virginia. He also had a reporter working for him, the late Mary Hire, who also had experiences of her own and dreams of Christmas packages floating in the water. But there was one other phenomena happening in Point Pleasant at the time, adding to the Mothman sightings, to the UFO sightings, and that was of sightings of strange men dressed in black, who didn't want the stories of the sightings and of the Mothman to be told, so they were going round trying to silence witnesses to the phenomena. The sightings and the phenomena in Point Pleasant carried on for a year, or over a year, and in that time, about 13 months to the day, over 100 sightings of the Mothman had been recorded. People were dreaming about it, even having premonitions. But on December the 15th, 1967, disaster struck in Point Pleasant. On that day, the bridge, that day in Point Pleasant, the bridge, known as the Silver Bridge, was full of Christmas shopping traffic. And it began to sway. And there was a loud noise heard. People thought it was a boat that had hit the bridge underneath. But the reality of what was happening would soon show itself, much to the horror of the people on that bridge, because the Silver Bridge catastrophically collapsed into the icy waters of the Ohio River below, and 46 people died in that bridge disaster, making it the worst bridge disaster in American history at the time. And people instantly started to connect the sightings and everything to this bridge collapse. It was almost as if this Mothman creature was trying to warn them about the impending disaster with the bridge. But it is worth noting that after the collapse of the Silver Bridge, the phenomena abated and disappeared from Point Pleasant. And I know what you're thinking, that's the end of the story. Well, unfortunately, it's not. Because it was seen across the world in major disasters, before major disasters that happened in the world. It was seen for the Chernobyl nuclear reactor meltdown. It was seen before that, the big earthquake in Mexico. And it was seen in Dallas for the great tornadoes that happened there. Many people claim they've seen it before other such big disasters and things that happened in history. But the fact of the matter is, it's going round. and going into these countries where disasters are going to happen, and it's a harbinger of death, or a banshee trying to warn people of the impending doom or the impending disaster which is soon to befall that country or the area in that country that it has been seen. Now, there is a movie based on the accounts called The Mothman Prophecies. I highly recommend you watch that. Okay, it will be and might seem an all be exaggerated adaptation of the accounts, but it is good. But also, if you search on YouTube the Mothman documentary, you will come across the actual documentary on the DVD, the Mothman Prophecies DVD, with the real eyewitnesses who saw this thing, who saw the Mothman, and the true story. And that documentary is a highly terrifying but good watch, because it makes you think, is there really something out there trying to warn people of impending disasters? Could something like that really exist? Was it all just a mass hallucination, or something that could be cleared up by any other number of rational theories? But the people in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, and in other places that it has been seen, will surely tell you different. Over 100 people saw the Mothman in West Virginia. Are over 100 people really lying? You decide. Write in the comments your theory on the story. If you're not really familiar with the story, research it, watch the documentary, then come back and write in the comments what you believe the truth is. And on that note, this puzzling installment of the Mid-Dark Ground series comes to a close. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment, as I've said, on the video below, sharing your theories on what you think it could have been, or even if you've had experiences yourself, write them in the comments below. Don't forget to follow our Twitter accounts, our channel account, and our personal accounts, which are, as always, are in the link in the description below. And as always, don't have nightmares. Make sure you keep those lights on, and remember, what's under the bed isn't the only thing that you should worry about. Sweet dreams. Until next time.